boy. Zion. I don't really know how much more I can take, Zion. I'm trying. As the moray, I'm trying. I'm trying to hold on. I'm trying to hang on in here. I'm trying. So, savages, huh? Savages. Y'all about to celebrate, not y'all, not the Hebrew, we know better. But the world, remember, there's 25, 30,000 people gonna see this video, maybe more. We pray it get out to 100, 300, 400,000. Maybe might as well go for 1 million people gonna see the video. Hallelujah. We're gonna deal with this idea of a savage. On this short video, I am morehyosh Yahu Dawid of the ARK. And and our people, Zion. Oh, do you know that Hebrews right now in America, Israelites, not y'all that's not y'all that's woke to the truth, but those who are not woke. Do you know right now money is being spent? Big head dead presidents, slave owners, pictures on the money are being spent right now. $100 bills, the Crispies, the notes, the C notes, whatever y'all want to call them, is being spent now as I speak in preparation for by brown people. I'm not talking about those from England now. No, I can understand, man. The English, they got a reason to celebrate. They have what's called they got their independence. So they marked that day when they signed that declaration. When they made a declaration. In our declaration, we declare ourselves free from the tyrant and the unlawful and unrighteous practices of the King of England, who is demanding taxation without representation, who is demanding and taking over the parliament, so that pretty much the government had become a puppet under his hand, and they figured they couldn't get no righteous treatment, so they decided to fight. So, hey, that's their story. They sticking to it. So they have a thing called a Declaration of Independence, and they're getting ready to celebrate tomorrow. And I want y'all to understand something. You got brown people, Hebrews, brown people, descendants of slaves and descendants of the natives here, that's spending big dollars as I speak, getting charcoal, buying all manner of swine flesh. They stacking up on, like my buddy say, on beers. Man, they done already ordered all manner of red, white, and blue shirts and hats and baby bibs to wipe the nasty barbecue sauce from them nasty pigs off the kids. They got red, white, and blue napkins right as we speak. They stirring up of their. Ooh, Mr. Buffer man. I don't know why y'all. I'm only gonna talk to Zion for a little while. I'm one of more raised. Just gonna talk to Zion. We're not exciting no violence. We're not talking about taking up no arms and trying to shoot with our little rusty 22s and 38s. That's not what we're doing. We're just informing our people about the psychological damage and the Stockholm syndrome that runs so deep in some of these coons' veins that no matter how much you try to give them a spiritual blood transfusion, it will not work. You wasting time. They about to light up barbecue pits and play music and be doing all manner of unrighteous eating and dancing and frolicking and blasphemy against Almighty Yah. And in the Declaration of Independence that they're getting ready to celebrate tomorrow, that declaration calls them savages. In the document, you're called a savage. And you're going to celebrate the signing of that document where you're called a savage. And when that document was written, it had to go through what's called, just for lack of better terms, it had to go through what's called a reading, then like what they would say today, a proofreading. And once it was proofread, it had to then be approved by everybody that was going to sign it. And everybody signed that document, had read the final draft and the proof of it, and decided they would leave the language calling you, Zion, a savage. They just said they want to be free, and they calling you a savage in the document that they're going to be worshiping tomorrow and sending up smokes of smoke signals of thanksgiving to white Jesus. Caesar Borgia, man, gonna be receiving all the nice fluffy clouds of that nasty swine meat. And Caesar Borgia gonna be loving it. And Hebrew Israelites that are still asleep are gonna fall into that trap again. And it's always us. Man, we cannot stand against it. Man, we fall for everything. In the writing, they call you a savage. And they signed it. All of them read it, proofread it, and all signed it, calling you a savage. A savage. You can do the most elementary Google search, Zion. I'm talking about, I used to say kindergarten, but now we're talking about preschool Google search on savage. Because all you got to do is put in a definition of savage. Because that's what they called you. And let Moray tell you what the first definition is. First word. An animal. Savage. The first word in the definition. An animal. So I don't know how many of y'all understand it, but you know, when I was I'm an English major. I think you all know that by now. I majored in English until my senior year, and then Abaya called me and moved my major at that time to theology, and that's where I have my doctorate degree and all that. Whatever. Have an honorary doctorate. Well, actually, it's a doctorate degree, but I don't know why I'm telling you all this, but I want you to understand something. When you read the Bible, or when you read anything, a definition, when you read a definition of a word and you're using a regular dictionary, it always begins with the most popular or the most important word in the definition is like the first line of the definition. Then as you continue to read the definitions, then they become more and more abstract and blah, blah, blah. But it starts off more concrete. That's how that works. So if you've never really studied the dictionary and you don't know, Moray just helped you just now Understand something about the way they're written. They're always going to use the most powerful and most true, the most solid definition first. If y'all could clearly understand that, put a 7 in the chat. Are we in the chat? Am I live? Let me see. Because this thing was buffering. Yes, 164 people in here. Put a 7. I'm giving y'all information on even how to study a regular dictionary. Oh, they're them 7s. All right. So when they called you a savage, the very first word in that definition, I'm talking about a meaning, I'm not talking about in a sentence, I'm talking about the very first thing you need to see, an animal. Called you an animal. In the Declaration of Independence, when they're saying we need to be independent from England, at the same time, they were calling you an animal. And to be more specific, a dog. A ravaging, savaging dog. There's only really two ways that you can use the word savage. And you can use it referring to an animal, but it's always an animal of a fierce and violent nature. So it's like always gonna be, most of the time, I would say 90%, as a dog. He's a dog, a ravenous wolf, that have no kind of discipline. Just wild and mean and fierce and violent. And the second thing they're gonna use in the definition, they're gonna somehow say, or a force of nature. So that, because they when they look at like say a violent storm, they say the storm was a savage storm. It came through. Well, what did it do? The savage came through and wreaked havoc on them little flimsy trailer houses that these people keep putting back in Tornado Alley. When will the heathens learn? That's a whole nother video. I ain't got time for that. But they always say, and it just savagely did this or savagely did that. Why? Because that is the definition. So obviously, when they looked at us and they saw these brown people, they didn't think that we were the wind and the rain. So they were calling us dogs. They were calling us wild animals. In the declaration that they are gonna sign in agreement, they're saying all you brown people were dogs, savages, violent, uncontrollable. That's what they consider you to be. And guess what they call you today? A savage. And guess what a savage still means today? A dog, fierce, violent, uncontrollable. Vicious. A vicious, violent, uncontrollable, fierce animal. And that's why when a lot of these people in law enforcement and others, they call it, we going hunting. They're going hunting. We finna hunt us some Negroes tonight. We gonna hunt us some brown people. They don't even know they hunting the children of Israel. But nevertheless, they use the word hunt. So why would you use the word hunt? Because you hunting a dog that you see as what? Ravaging you, ravaging your town, creating violence. You're uncontrollable. Like Hillary Clinton said, you're a super predator, a super predator. They signed it. They said, we're going to be independent of England because they treat us bad. We can't stand it. But we're going over here to kill these savages. That's for damn sure. We finna give them all kind of diseases. We're going to kill them. And the good looking ones, we're going to rape them. We're going to rape them and rape them again and rape them. We will rape the men. We will rape the women. And we will hang them in trees, drag them behind our horses, our chariots. We will ravage the savage. We'll steal all of his land. We'll take all of his gold. We will take all of his silver. We will take all of his produce. There will be no savages when we get through with them. Now, switch it to like wild dogs. The land is full of wild dogs. These wild dogs are everywhere. All we got to do is when we get there, kill all the wild dogs, kill all them ravenous wolves, and then we can have it. So all their pasture land and their hunting grounds and all of their beaches and all of their mountain ranges and all of their rivers, they're just crowded with nasty, ravenous dogs. And we got to shoot them, kill them, give them diseases and sickness until we wipe the land clean of the dogs. See, the word dog and the word savage, you see how that fits together? Zion. If you can clearly see now that when they called you a savage, they were calling you an animal, and an animal that is referred to most when it terms of savage is a dog. Put a 12 in this chat, please. Because you don't even, your parents, your cousins, your uncle, whoever getting ready to go do that, they have no idea you've been called a dog. They are signing a document that in the document is calling you a dog. Why would you celebrate that? They're calling you a savage. They're saying you're uncontrolled. You're brutal, vicious. And ain't that the word that you see now? Ain't that how they paint you? Every street corner, there go them vicious, savages, dogs, pants hanging down, and uncontrollable. No matter what you do, you can't control them. So that's why when we go and quote unquote calling police, let me help you, Zion. In the mind of the average policeman, he's protecting white folks from the savages. Do y'all get that? He is protecting and serving. He's protecting the white people from the savages. And of course, some black people who are also living, he protects them. But that's collateral. That's not on purpose. So when a person goes out to say, I'm going to serve and protect, see, you don't understand that he don't think he's doing nothing wrong. If somebody told you it was ravenous dogs out there in the street that's going to wreak havoc, and eventually if you don't stop them, they're going to end up in your house and they're going to kill your family and your wife and kids, wouldn't you be getting the gun to go kill them dogs? I said, if somebody had been telling you your whole life that there's ravenous dogs outside and all them dogs want to do is rape your women, kill your children, take your stuff, and you have a chance to become a person who can be a quote-unquote dog hunter, a dog killer, don't you feel like you're protecting your family and serving your family every time you kill one of them dogs? See? And I know y'all know this already because social media got it blasted. When they signed this paper, they didn't even consider you, if you're looking at me and you brown, they didn't even consider you a human. I keep telling y'all that. They don't think of you as a human. They think of you as a dog. A ravenous, fierce, violent, uncontrollable, vicious person. But not even a person. You were less than a human. Now I want you to understand the psychological sickness that got to be behind that. To where they want to have sex with the men and the women and the girls and the babies at the same time, whip them, beat them, hang them, and force them into labor. What kind of Luciferian God complex do they have, Zion? Man, more right, man. Hey, it ain't really, dude. Don't you know I know what savage means? Boy, y'all over at YouTube. I know you don't want me telling my people. I don't know why you don't want me to tell my people. I'm not bothering your people. I'm just talking to my people about the definition of savage and why they shouldn't go for it. But that had me buffering, huh? Oh, so some of y'all who've been assigned to watch my videos, y'all didn't know that what savage meant either, huh? So what's Moray's point? Do I have a point? Oh, yes. I have a good point. I'm going somewhere with this. If that document has the word savage in it, and it does, then how come 200 years later, after the freeing of the slaves and after the Indian, the quote-unquote native treaties and stuff, why is the word still in there? It's a legal document. Why are those words? If y'all like Moray, man, that's a long time ago, man. Them people, man, that's back then. They don't believe that today, man. That's not about me, Moray. Moray, there you go, Moray. There you go, Moray. How come they haven't changed it? Ain't nothing but a strike of a pen. Hey, you guys, you know this language right here is offensive. You know, it's a very offensive language to the African American and the Native Americans and the Mexican Americans and actually the really true indigenous people of our land. We should definitely change that to the citizens or the true Americans who were already here, that we came and savaged their land. We should fix that, brother. We should fix that. Another thing, this ain't like this. This is how they would say it. Well, I think that, you know, now that we are rich beyond more than we can imagine, we killed them all, we stole their land, we stole their gold, their silver, all the resources. I mean, the least we can do is tell them that they're the original Americans. Amur Khan. Let's take out the savage and let's just put on Amur Khan. Tell them at least that we stole and raped and plummeted and violently took away all that they had. Let us tell them that we did it with fierce anger in a violent manner, uncontrollable. We were the ones that were brutal and very vicious. Our great-grandpappy was very brutal. He wore the white wig, looking very feminine, but believe me, he was a ravenous wolf on the inside. He pranced around in stockings and high-heeled black shoes with big fat buckles. But do not mistake my grandfather for weak. Even though he put on rouge and lipstick, he was a ravenous beast on the inside. Oh, my word. Just thinking about old grandpappy, he's making me, there's a little animal starting to raise up in me. I'm starting to feel a little ravenous myself. Grandpapa's blood must still be in my veins. My God, would you pass some more of that peppermint schnapps, please, and a twist of a lemon, because thinking about old grandpappy and how they brought over those sheets and killed thousands of the savages without really even having to fire a shot. It was brilliant, I tell you. It was brilliant. I think now we should tell them the truth. Boy, it's lies. I can't celebrate the 4th of you lie. You lie. There were no savages here. We was here, chilling, according to your records, Mr. European, the true savages. We got records we can read. We got records of the first people who came to the Americas from Europe. They were note takers. They said that the people on the eastern shores and west too, but let's still talk the eastern shores. They said they welcomed you with open arms. That's not a savage. That's the first thing they said, that many of them came out to the beaches to help you all bring your goods and stuff from the big ship onto the small ship. They actually helped you they helped you get here. They helped you get on the shore. That was the record that Europeans wrote down. There were no savages. They had villages. They brought you into their villages and taught. They're my ancestors. You know why? Because according to the Holy Bible, one of the things that the Hebrew has to do is be hospitable. And that's what they say in all of the records. They say, and the watch this, the real Americans, the natives, were hospitable. Matter of fact, some of these Europeans said savages were surprisingly hospitable. God, woo. Y'all, I got to calm down. Because this 4th of July thing, man, y'all know every year, it just bothers me. You're going to tell us we the savages when we was chilling. We the savages, but we had so many buffalo running throughout our land that you couldn't count them. We the savages, but yet the harmony between us and the land is evident. How we took care of it, how we worked with the land. You call us savages, huh? And we never once was on record going from place to place to place, wiping everything that breathed out. Of course we had inner tribal squabbles, of course. Nothing like what y'all did. But in your writings, you called us savages. You thought I was gonna forget. I don't forget nothing. More, are you holding a grudge? It ain't the fact of a grudge. I'm just saying, how come you call us a savage? And how come today that word is still in there? And how come today you got our people about to offer up sacrifices of swine praise to the 4th of July, a document in which we're called an animal, a fierce, uncontrollable, violent, brutal animal. And you all know that before we started acting like the European, we were the nicest people on the planet. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that our people have always been known for being compassionate. Our people have always been known for being patient. Our people have always been known for going the second mile, to working extra hard. Our people have always been known for taking in stray cultures, feeding other people's children, nurturing them, watching out for. That's our culture. That's always been our MO. So much so we nursed other folks' babies. But we the savages, huh? Even though the culture that the Europeans come from, this ain't nothing I'm making up. They would have a baby, let another person raise them until they was able to go to school and ship them off for 4 or 5 years. They wouldn't even want to see their own kids. Don't that sound like a savage? That's what they do in the wild. You know, a wild dog will do that. A wild animal will abandon their own children. And then here come the black and the brown man. I hate to use the term black because it's making me sick. So here come the brown man, the brown woman. See the little white baby crying and some men has been so compassionate. Man, go get that little kid out there on the street. Yeah, but you don't know, it don't matter. Just bring him home. Next thing you know, you walk in the house and you walk into the house, right? And you be like, who is that? Man, his mom and daddy. You know he's white. It don't matter, son. Don't matter. He in the family now. And guess what? That boy be raised just like one of us. That's what we do. We always have that in us. This world is trying to get that out of us now. But I'm talking about as a culture. I'm not talking about what I heard now. I want y'all to understand at 54 years old, I'm at the middle. I was young enough to see that in action before it got totally taken out of us by television, radio, BET, rap music, gang violence, and drugs. I saw that in action before our culture got turned into this damn hip-hop bull. I saw it. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I saw it. Compassionate, kind, looking out for one another. My grandpa, who was also, all of us Native Americans, but he shown enough Native American. When the seniors, because we had a lot of men and women here, and they were seniors. He was older too, but they were much older, and they didn't really have when they didn't have money to do stuff, whatever. I remember my grandpa used to get up in the morning, wouldn't say nothing, he didn't talk a lot. My grandpa would get up in the morning, get in his truck, and ride around to at least 5 or 6 houses. You know what he would do? He wouldn't even go inside. He would just reach over their fence and get the garbage and put it in the back of his truck and take it to the dump. I said, Grandpa, where you going? Oh, I just got a couple more people. I'm just gonna help. What for? Oh, they just old. Well, Gramps, you old. I know, but they can't get out. I can still get out. I can still get around. So since I'm going anyway, I might as well go and take that stuff to it. I saw that my whole life. You picking up their garbage. They don't even know you stopping by. You didn't even honk the horn, nothing. You just get out there and get taking their garbage to the dump just because you head out there. But we the savages. They're gonna subdue these savages. Zion, I'm gonna cut this video short. We don't celebrate stuff in which in the inside you being called a savage. We have our feast days, Zion. We have 7 biblical feasts that's given to us directly from Abba Yah himself. We have a couple of more feast days that the nation said, you know what, these are some days we should remember, like Purim and others. There was just some days we set up and saying, let's not forget what happened on this day. But coming over here and following this pagan stuff, and then you study the root of it and find out how terrible it is. I'm gonna close with this. In the end, everything's gonna be revealed. I thought I had my Bible in my seat. I just pulled over for a second, but I don't need it. Y'all got a Bible, so Revelation chapter 22. Go get it. Revelation 22, and get in around about that 15th verse. Going in there, Revelation 22:15. If there's any administrators in the room or anybody that can type that in for the rest of the family. Revelation, yes, that book that they keep saying is scary. Stay away from that book. Why? Oh, scary. Scary. If you don't have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a doctorate degree, you ain't gonna understand it. That book is scary. Stay away from it. No sermons on Revelation, no Bible studies. They might get through maybe the 7 churches and they stop. After that, it gets scary. Let me tell you why it's scary to that Christian. Why it's scary to that European. Why that's scary to that stepping, fetching preacher. It's because his end is in our book, Zion. His end is in our records, Zion. How this whole thing is going to wind up is in our book. And in that revelation, Woo, I think it's going in there now. In that Revelation 22 around 15, because in 22 you started up at the top at 1. He's talking about the city. Woo, what city? The holy city, Jerusalem. He's talking about our home city, Zion. And when you get the description of the city and how beautiful it is and how everything is going to be made right, you all got to read that. I don't have time to do it right now because I'm driving. I just pulled over to finish my point. When you get to 22:15, he said, now the righteous are going to be inside the city. Say it, Moray. They need to hear it. Well, then who's going to be out? If we know who's in the city, who's going to be outside the city? Do you know what he said? The first thing he said? The dogs. Outside are the real dogs. Wait. Abaya, are you telling Zion that the real savages was actually calling the saints savages? That the real dogs was actually attacking the people? But the people are now under the power of the dogs? So the dogs are running the world? So the savages are running the world? He said, don't you see the ravenous behavior of the savages? You can't see it. It's plain as day for me. Who got the biggest bombs? Who got all the tanks, the weapons? Who rapes and plummets other countries on a regular basis? Who got military presence everywhere? Who is shooting to kill all the time? Who is developing weapons of mass destruction all the time? Who is in labs trying to create viruses that's going to wipe out whole communities so that people can take it? Who is polluting the water? Who is polluting the air with industry overload? Who's doing that? Is it brown people? Do we own the greatest industries in the world, brown people? Do we run the biggest businesses in the world, brown people? Hey, brown people, are you the ones putting up tons and tons of pollution into our skies? Brown people, do you have oil wells all out in the water you run the oil companies, brown? Ah. So all of the stuff that's happening, sicknesses, diseases, profiting, poverty, all that kind of stuff, who's in control of that? The independent people? Oh, okay. So let's see how it wraps up. So right now, this world is about the best they gonna have, right? They ain't getting no better than this. So this is their heaven. So that's why they don't want to leave here so bad. Because they can't see another. They know there ain't no place better than here for them. No, because unlike you, Zion, your enemy, the true savages of this world, have read your Bible. I keep telling y'all that. One day, you're going to believe the Moray. One day, you're going to roll with the Moray enough to see what I'm saying. They've read your book. And because they've read your book, they know that this is all they get. Why? Because the Bible says in the last day, they out. So who's out? The dogs. Ain't no dogs in the kingdom. No savages in the kingdom. No, only Yah's children, the 12 tribes of Israel, that are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments get into the kingdom. Say, who else don't get in? The sorcerers. You mean tell me all them witchcraft movies, none of them people in the kingdom? Harry Potter didn't make it to the kingdom? Hell no. Lord of the Rings, all them people, they don't get to the kingdom? No. You're talking about Merlin the magician and Arthur's round table, they don't get to the kingdom? Are they sorcerers? Well, yeah. Then hell no. Well, wait. What about the little girl in Brave? Remember she shot the arrow? Her mama said, do not loose an arrow. What about her? Didn't she go see them little witches? That witch and then cast a spell on her mama and turn into a bear? No, she ain't coming either. That is called sorcery. No sorcerers in the kingdom. What about Madam Soulbody who got, the palm reading thing going? They can't get. No. So what about Aunt Jane? Because she always talking about you Capricorn and Leo. She ain't coming neither. No sorcery. All the people who into sorcery, they on the outside. What about white Jesus? Outside. Caesar Borgia can't get in? No. But what about the people who be praying to Mary and having them juju beads? Outside. Sorcery. And okay, so we know the savages is outside. The dogs is outside. Sorcerers outside. Who else? Whoremongers. Ain't no whoremongers in the kingdom? What about all the whoredom that's being done all over this world? All that sex trafficking that's going on. Ain't this the land of the free, the home of the brave? Don't white Jesus run this country? Ain't this a Christian country? You trying to tell me these whoremongers ain't going in? Hell no. Ain't no Epstein and all them people. What is wrong with y'all? And you Hebrew Israelites that don't know no better, you do know the Bible has a law against whoredom in Israel. So you don't whore out the daughters of Zion. So all the people doing that, they outside the kingdom. They're not in the kingdom. Y'all don't care nothing about how you feel. He told you I was going to be. Anything else? More. They say murderers. Sure do. Ain't no murder. Y'all about to celebrate the 4th of July, and the people that set up the Day of Independence came over here with the mindset of murdering everybody that was here. They literally said it in the document. We're gonna take all their shit. All their shite, all their stuff. They literally said we're gonna get it all. We're gonna take their land. We're gonna take we just need to get rid of them. They like ravenous dogs. We're gonna get their land, their gold, their silver, their house, their land. We're gonna take it all. Said, well, what you gonna do? We're gonna kill them. And they went on killing sprees. Y'all don't understand they came out here. You think they just was fighting Europe? You think that was the only thing that was going on? No. They were also on a rampage to kill the natives that were here. Our people, our brown people, we were already here. And they murdered us. And those that they didn't murder, they enslaved, which is still murder. What else? Y'all, I can't go nowhere. And idolaters. And idolaters. Wait a minute. Didn't I tell you about that, Caesar Borgia? Yes. Did I tell you about all them statues and stuff on everybody's wall? Yes. You see all them trinkets and stuff people be putting up all the time? Bowing down, worshiping them? Idolaters. And let me put this last point in here, because when you pull over in Madtown, I'm starting to understand why they say it's Madtown. Boy, don't take long before somebody gonna come up, boy, and try to bother you. Y'all already know I've been all over trying to find a place to make a video. Okay, now you don't walk on. Hallelujah. The last thing he says, and without are those who love and makes a lie. I got to go, Zion. I enjoyed being with y'all, but I had to tell you that you ain't getting the kingdom. This whole nation is built on lies. Just like the 4th of July. Yeah, we ain't savages, so that document is a lie. It need to be flushed in the toilet. They're not gonna flush it. Christopher Columbus discovered America. The heck, how he discovered some people here? It's a lie. They were just fighting for independence because it was tea in the Boston Harbor. That's not why. Them people had a satanic Luciferian take over the world mindset, and they said we're gonna do it over here, but can't nobody stop us from being as buck wild as we want to be. And that's what they did. And we're gonna kill who we want to kill. We're gonna take what we want to take, and we don't want no oversight telling us what we can and can't do. We way across the pond. So we're gonna become completely independent of England. And guess what? You Europeans, I ain't mad at you. Do you? That's what y'all do, man. That's your MO. That's how you got rich. Taking over the world, plummeting and stealing and robbing and oppressing. That's your thing. You don't go to school and do things righteous and legal and honest. That's not how you took the country. Telling us to do that, and you ain't never done that. That's not how you know better than that. You know it ain't nothing about it. It's all boiled down to who got the biggest guns, and you know it. So let's stop playing games. That's why no matter what you cut, you ain't finna cut that defense. Because you know if you owe the world $1 trillion, billion, zillion, kazillion, kalillion, kabillion, nigga, the million. The nigga, the legal, the billion, the bottom, but ziga, banana, dollars. And that's a number you can't even repeat. If you owe the world that, you ain't gonna pay if they can't come get it. That's the thug rogue. That's how to do it the American way. Get you a big stick and dare somebody. Come on. I don't care what I owe you. Come try to get it. So let's not stop playing them games. We know that the real power in America is them horses and chariots. That's what you trust in. Not our Abaya. We talking about in God we trust. Your God is not the same God as the God of the Bible. You got a different, you trusted in something other than him. I know. So you love and make a lie. And I don't even want to deal with all them lies because we'll be here all day. How you took this country, you should tell the truth. How you changed the religion, you should tell the truth. How you have our people eating swine and all kind of abominations because you know it's going to kill them, but it don't bother you, you should tell the truth. About how we're supposed to gather on the Shabbat and keep the feast day, you should tell the truth, but you're not. No. Matter of fact, you're going to get mad at those of us who not going to have our red, white, and blue apron on tomorrow. No, Moria be in prayer. Moria be in mourning for our people. Moria will be in consecration. There will be no offering of swine flesh on grills and pots of abomination. No, sir. No, ma'am. I'm praying for Yah's protection around his people because I know who's going to be without. And I know who's going to be within. And ain't not one savage going to make it into the kingdom. One love, Zion. Savages. Will the real savage please stand up?